hours right here on KTN News. Remember, on Sunday, we do have your top 5 moments of the week. Now, after waiting for 4 years, finally, on Thursday, the 2018 edition of the World Cup kicked off in Russia with spectacular performances in the opening ceremony and also a 5-star performance by the host Russia as they thrashed Saudi Arabia 5-0 in the opening match of the tournament. Now, also, it has been a week where we saw Roger Federer go back to being named the world #1 in tennis. It has also been a week where we had Sebastian Vettel win the Canadian Grand Prix, and also it has been a week where the comparison of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo has been taken to another level, and this is after their performances at the World Cup. Welcome to the KTN's Scoreline, and today we'll be delving into the World Cup, but that's later on in the show. I will be with Nyambura Mureithi. I will be talking to her about the World Cup. And before we go further into the show, we have a Twitter question that we are asking you. Yesterday, we saw Nigeria lose to Croatia on a 2-0 scoreline. So we are asking you, which African country do you think holds the hopes of the continent and why? Which African country do you think holds the hopes of the continent and why? Remember, Nigeria lost yesterday, Morocco lost the day before that, and also Egypt lost. 2 teams that have not yet played in the World Cup so far, Tunisia and Senegal. They will be playing today and tomorrow. So which African team do you think holds the hopes of a continent? Now, before we get into today's show, I'm joined by 2 gentlemen right here from Kenya's strongest man. You think you're strong? Well, we do have Kenya's strongest man. We'll be talking to them later on in the show to know more about Kenya's strongest man. I'm joined by James Muga. Good afternoon, Jemo.
Good afternoon, Robin.
Welcome to Scoreline.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a while. The last time we were together was last year.
Last year during the finals?
Last year during the finals.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Chris,
yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Last time I checked, you were in Qatar.
Yeah, I was in Qatar for the Qatar strongest man. Yeah.
Well, he's Kenya's strongest man. He was in Qatar, so we will be talking to them to know more about what to expect in the 2018 edition of Kenya's strongest man. If you think you're strong, well, there are men who are stronger than you, and they're taking part in Kenya's strongest man, and that is what we'll be talking about. But we'd like to kick off today's show with football, and Ezekiel Odera came off the bench to bag a brace as FC Leopards won 2-0 over Chemelil Sugar in a Kenya Premier League match played at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. In a different match, Mombasa United once again missed the chance to close the gap between them and Gor Mahia after drawing 1-1 with visiting Vihiga United.
We create so many chances, and at the end, against a very good team, and at the end, we deserve to win. So which is the next game? No, we need to go step by step, and game by game, and until the end. We are Leopards, and we need to fight until the end.
Next game, we are playing against Viga. We have around 2 weeks to prepare. Najua tutakuwa tumetengeneza timu itakuwa sawa.
Well, FC Leopards getting a 2-0 win over Chemelil Sugar in a match that was played at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. So we take a look at the results from the matches that were played yesterday. Of course, Mombasa United settling for a 1-1 draw with Vihiga United. Zoo Kericho getting a 1-1 draw against Sony Sugar. And then FC Leopards getting a 2-0 win over Chemelil Sugar. The 2 goals coming courtesy of Ezekiel Odera. So these were the only 3 matches on the cards yesterday. Let's move to the fixtures that we have this afternoon in the Kenya Premier League. Remember, the first match of the day was at 11 a.m. So we take a look at the fixtures from this afternoon in the Kenya Premier League. We have Tusker taking on Wazito. Then Ulinzi Stars will be taking on Bandari FC. Kariobangi Sharks will be taking on Posta Rangers. The match has was played rather at 11 a.m. at the Camp Toyoyo. But we also take a look at the other fixtures for Sunday. We have these are the results from yesterday. So we take a look at the fixtures for this afternoon in the Kenya Premier League. These are the results from yesterday. Mathare getting a 1-1 draw against Vihiga United. Zoo settling for a 1-1 draw against Sony. And FC Leopards getting a 2-0 win against the Chameleon Sugar. We take a look at the fixtures for this afternoon. Six fixtures, yes, on the cards in the Kenya Premier League. So we take a look at the fixtures for the Kenya Premier League matches for this afternoon. Apart from Tusker versus Wazito, Ulinzi versus Bandari, and Kariobangi versus Posta Rangers. Remember, the defending champions Gor Mahia will also be in action this afternoon in the Kenya Premier League. These are some of the fixtures for the Kenya Premier League. Remember, 6 matches will be on the cards. Kariobangi Sharks against Posta Rangers has been played in the Kenya Premier League. So let's move to athletics now. And in the final day of the Kenya Prisons Athletics Championships that took place at the Kasarani Stadium yesterday, 2015 10,000-meter All-Africa Games silver medalist Wilfred Kimetei won gold in the men's 5,000-meter event in a time of 13 minutes, 56.3 seconds to qualify for the National Athletics Championships.
Athletes turned up to face the inevitable at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, all in the hopes of making the final cut in their respective events. Three-time Wales half-marathon champion Cornelius Kangogo tried in vain to make a hasty finish in the final lap of the men's 5,000 meters finals, where he was overwhelmed by Wilfred Kimetei, who registered a time of 13 minutes 53.6 seconds as Kangogo settled for silver. Charles Cheruyot came in third in a time of 13 minutes 59.4 seconds.
Last year, I went to South Africa, Durban, where I brought the silver in 10,000 meters. So I expected to go there again to represent my country in African Championship and also to bring a medal again.
Pauline Wangui highlighted the women's 10,000 meters final, registering a time of 34 minutes 24.2 seconds to take first place. Eunice Mumboa fell in second after 34 minutes 25.4 seconds, as Nancy Kimayo came in third after 35 minutes 5.5 seconds.
I'm looking for big names like Aprot and people like Sheila, those people from Paris, those who have good times.
International Sports Center Kasarani today witnessed the second and final day of the Kenya Prisons Athletics Championships. A number of events took place in the course of the day, with the highlights being the 5,000 meters men's final and the 10,000 meters women's final. Qualified team players will participate in the National Athletics Championships slated for next week in the same venue. Rotuno Konyike, KTN Sports.
Let's move to golf now. Home player Japheth Kiprono emerged the winner of the third round of the KCB Road to the Masters at Eldoret Club over the weekend to lead 6 qualifiers from North Rift to the KCB Masters Pro-Am, and the handicap 20 player, the handicap 20 player did it in bravado upon firing 39 Stableford points, and his campaign effective soon up after beating men's winner Kamar Manek on the counter back.
Hey!
The course is very nice. I was in the first flight. We started at 7:40, and so far I think the course is good. For the last few days it has been raining a lot and our course has been flatting, but I think right now the whole course is dry and it's good for playing.
Of course, action from the KCB Road to the Masters at Eldoret Club yesterday. So now, we want to talk about Kenya's Strongest Man. It is a competition that has been running for a while now. And if you don't know what Kenya's Strongest Man entails, let's take a look at the highlights from some of the past activities in the tournament. So some of the action at past Kenya's Strongest Man competition. Of course, we are having the officials and some of the participants and also Kenya's Strongest Man right here in studio. We are waiting for one of the participants that took part in the Kenya's Strongest Man. That is Stephen Wamalwa. He will be joining us shortly. And we want to get into the discussion and we'd like to start with James Imbuga. You are the founder of Kenya's Strongest Man. Why did you think that, you know, let's have a competition of Kenya's Strongest Man?
We run a sport marketing company, and we're all about enlarging the platform for athletes to showcase their talent and probably earn a dignified living out of their talent. So having looked at strength sports, we noticed that there was a gap, because what we have in Kenya right now, it was more so about bodybuilding, which is just aesthetics, but not everyone who goes to the gym is accustomed for the stage, for bodybuilding. So Kenya's Strongest Man came in as an alternative platform for guys who think they're strong enough, come showcase what you can do, and I mean, just earn a dignified living out of your capacity to pull weights and lift heavy things. Yeah.
How has the journey been since you started Kenya's Strongest Man?
Interesting. I mean, the growth is there. We started in 2015 with a single event in Nairobi, and that has grown to become a national competition. Last year, we managed to do 7 regions before the finals in Nairobi. This year, we're doing 4 regions. We've already done Kisumu, the qualifiers. We've gone to Mombasa. We've gone to Nakuru. And this coming Saturday, we'll be in Nairobi for the qualifiers before the finals. So the journey has been interesting. So much in terms of growth. We started with 8 athletes. Now we're talking of almost 140 athletes competing in the Kenya Strongest Man circuit. Hasn't been without its own challenges, sponsorship, and just the capacity to raise the kind of funds to make this a mainstream sport. Yeah, but we are grateful for the far that we've come. Yeah.
Chris, let me get to you. You know, you are Kenya's Strongest Man.
Just to clarify,
yes,
I'm 3 times Qatar's Strongest Man.
3 times Qatar's Strongest
and
Man.
And second Kenya's Strongest Man.
Second Kenya's Strongest
Man.
Yes,
second last year.
Yeah, last year you finished second. Yeah. How does it feel? You know, you've gone outside the country. You've won 3 times in Qatar. Yep. Last year you finished second here in Kenya. How does it feel?
Well, in terms of Kenya, it's still growing, and right now we're happy that you know, we have the platform already in Kenya. This is its 3rd edition, I think. Yeah, 4th edition.
4th edition.
Yeah,
this
so
year.
Yeah, yes. I'll be participating again for the 2nd time.
Yes.
This year and looking to win it.
Last year was your first shot right here at home.
Yep.
You finished second. You know, what can you say about the sport in Kenya? That is Kenya's Strongest Man.
Well, I can say it's paying, because last year we got to win. We got to win a piece of land. Of course, that's a good investment and some prize money. Yeah.
And for starters, how big are you? Because I stood next to you when they were miking you up, and I look like a midget. How big are you?
Not very big. I'm 6 feet. 4.
6 feet 4?
Yeah, 6 feet 4, and I weigh 115 now.
115 kg.
Yes.
You know, to get to this level, what do you eat?
You have to eat enough protein, carbohydrates, and clean fats, as in good fats.
So I'll have to get back to you, James, on this, on the Kenya's Strongest Man. From having 8 participants in the first edition in 2015 to having more than 100 right now in the 4th edition, you know, how did you manage to turn things round?
I think the market was ready for Kenya's Strongest Man, because we had athletes, we have people who lift heavy, who follow the sport, but only that they didn't have an opportunity. So when we availed the competition and set the stage, it's amazing, like the traction was there. So in terms of athletes, it was almost like they were ready for this kind of a competition. In terms of marketing, just the spectators and the sponsorship, it has taken a lot of work, and just the support of KTN and other goodwill friends of the sport who have been able to give us the kind of publicity that we are getting. It's going a long way in terms of just helping us grow grow the sport and give it the traction in terms of spectators and the sponsorship that we need to take it to where it's supposed to be.
Of course, I'm joined in studio also by Steve Wamalwa, who also took part in Kenya's Strongest Man last year. He was the champion in 2016.
2015 and
2016. Two times champion.
Yes.
2 times champion. Welcome to studio, Steve. And we are talking about Kenya's Strongest Man. You've been Kenya's Strongest Man for 2 years in a row.
Yes.
You know, despite not winning last year, how does it feel?
Yeah, first of all, it's all about the mercy of the Jah. I thank God for everything, all the preparation in terms of the training, dieting. I just thank God. And it hasn't been an easy journey. It's all about training hard. Yes.
As you can see right here in studio, I'm just a man amongst giants, and we'd like to know where the journey began to know where they are right now. That is Chris Okech, who's been 3 times Qatari's Strongest Man. We have Steve Wamalwa, who's been twice Kenya's Strongest Man, and of course Kenya's Strongest Man, Kenya's Strongest Man founder, that's James Mbuga. And Chris, I would want to start with you. Where did you begin? Where did that idea of you wanting to be Kenya's Strongest Man begin?
It began way back when I was in primary school. I used to see my brother, do good in bodybuilding. So I started off training boxing, then switched to doing just weightlifting. Yeah.
So there is a perception that normally people have that, when you have such a kind of body, the only thing that you can do is security. Why?
Yeah, because, of course, guys, club owners want to employ the biggest people they see. Yeah, so people like us, we've done security before. Yeah, but we said, okay, security doesn't have, when you're doing security, you don't have the job security. Anything can happen. So we went off, we went, studied nutrition, studied exercise science, and now we qualified personal trainers. Yep.
So how many times do you eat in a day?
Depends. Like on season now, I'm eating minimum of 6 meals a day.
6 meals a day?
On a minimum.
On a minimum?
Yeah.
So you can go up to 10 meals a day?
Up to like 8, 10.
8, 10 meals a day?
Yes.
Wow. Then what does it entail? What is in these meals that you take?
You just need to eat nutrient-dense food, as in high protein food, like chicken breasts, clean carbs like sweet potatoes and rice, steamed rice, then greens like broccoli and asparagus, and fatty food like avocados and omega-3s. Yes.
So for 3 years out there in Qatar, you've been the strongest man.
Strongest, yeah.
What can you say about the competition in Qatar and the competition in Kenya?
Well, the competition in Qatar is all the way up. Yeah, in terms of prize money, in terms of the events we're doing. We're doing like 5 events, but they're crazy events. They are heaviest.
They're heaviest.
Yeah.
Steve, you've been Kenya's strongest man for 2 years in a row, 2015, 2016.
Yes.
And of course, Kenyans will want to know from you, how did you get here where you are now?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say it hasn't been an easy journey, whereby my journey started at primary level, whereby I used to play rugby. My motivation came from playing rugby up to high school, to college a little bit, but when I finished my college, I couldn't progress with playing rugby. Now I decided, okay, because of job, I can't combine job and playing rugby. Then I say, okay, let me try this called strongman. And I had an interest. Early before, I used to see guys from Australia, New Zealand, USA competing. And it is only in KTN whereby it used to air it out about the world strongman. And from that day, I used to gain interest about the sport, slowly by slowly. Then eventually, I happened to find myself in. I say, okay, let me give it a try in 2015. First of all, it was in 2014, but I couldn't do nicely. Then on 2015 is when I started my journey seriously for winning the trophy. I won it in 2015, and 2016 again, I won it again. And 2017, unfortunately, I couldn't perform very nicely according to my standards. Now, this time round, I want to put a lot of pressure and a lot of force so that I'm going to take the crown again. Yeah.
For 2 years, you are champion. Does it mean that, you know, the competition that there is out there when it comes to Kenya's Strongest Man, there are very few people who can match up to your strengths?
It's all about the motivation and the passion of the sport. And when you have got a nice discipline also, and also it also needs a lot of knowledge inside it, because you need to train smart. It's not only training, but everyone can train, but it's all about to train smart. And in terms of nutrition, also you need to be smart.
You also eat 8 times a day?
Mine like right now, I'm preparing for the finals. It was only last month whereby I won the Nakuru Strongest Man competition, and I got the ticket for the finals on August 18th. Right now, my diet has increased to 8 to 9 meals in a day, and inside the meal, it's a lot of protein. I concentrate a lot of protein and carbs.
Okay, James, let me get back to you. We've had Kenya's Strongest Man for 4 years, but now what's the way forward? Are we in a place where we can say that in probably the next 2-3 years, we can have Kenyans taking part in the World's Strongest Man and probably have a winner?
Definitely. We've set for ourselves that goal. In the next 3 years, we want to have a Kenyan compete at the World's Strongest Man. The next thing for us is right now regional competition. We're getting a lots of inquiries from guys in the continent who want to challenge the likes of Steve and Kina Chris. So probably a regional competition is on the cards for us, where we want to invite these guys, the strongman from Cameroon, strongman from South Africa, bring them over for an Africa's Strongest Man. And then from there now, the next 2-3 years, we want to see these guys now take on Kina Zidruna Savikas at the World's Strongest Man.
So people probably are wondering that, James, you started the Kenya Strongest Man competition, but have you ever taken part in the competition?
I used to, not this level of competition,
yes.
Not strongman per se, but I used to do a bit of lifting. That's where, of course, I got that opportunity to interact closely with the sport. So I tell people that this used to be a chest, but gravity is real. It has a way of pulling the chest downwards. So kifua ya kitambo. Even these guys, give them some time. Kifua itakuja huku chini.
So, for the 2018 edition of the Kenya Strongest Man, you know, you've already gone to 3 legs so far.
Yeah.
What should we expect when you host the national finals now?
It's going to be explosive because right now we are having reduced the number of qualifiers. The competition at the qualifiers is already super hot. We'll be having the final qualifiers this coming Saturday at the CrossFit gym in Gigiri, CrossFit Kwetu. And I mean, we're having like 6 to 7 top athletes who haven't qualified for the national finals. So just watching that will be truly the final before the final. And then at the finals now, it's going to be, I know it's going to be very explosive. Chris Okechia challenging Joseph Iro, who beat him last year. And they have fierce rivalry in Qatar. And Stephen Wamalo also saying that he wants the title back. So the finals will be, it will be ridiculously hot. And amazingly...
Are you looking forward to, you know, bettering the prizes from last year? Remember last year's winners won a piece of land in Nairobi. So are you looking forward to bettering the prizes?
Yes, that's our goal. We are still talking to several partners to see how we can up that. Yeah, but we are working on how we can grow this into a bigger competition with bigger prize monies. And maybe if I could add the finals. You asked me about the finals.
Yes.
4-time World's Strongest Man, Zidruna Savikas from Lithuania, will be coming for the national finals. He'll be doing a guest performance, so definitely that adds the spice on the finals in August 18th. It's going to be explosive.
So as we wind up about Kenya's Strongest Man, Chris, you've been in Qatar for a while. Last year you finished second right here in Kenya.
Yep.
What should we expect from you in 2018?
Yeah, fire.
Fire.
Yeah, it's going to be war.
And
I'm more ready.
You are ready?
Yes.
Are we going to see you in the World's Strongest Man anytime soon?
Yeah, I've been in the World's Strongest Man. I single-handedly took myself there. So,
how was the performance when you went there?
Yeah, it was okay. I placed top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, which is, for me, it's a step.
It's a step towards, winning that.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
2018, what should we expect from you?
What I'm going to say is that I just want to say all my fans all over the world is that on 18 August, yeah, that is the day that you need to put an eye to Stephen Wamalwa because it wouldn't be easy, and above all...
Are you sending a warning to Joseph Irogu?
First of all, leave alone Jose is far. Chris is here.
Chris right here. You're sending a warning to him.
He knows everything.
He knows. He knows that come August.
Yeah, and furthermore, we are training together. Yeah.
So you know each other's strengths.
Yeah, furthermore, I've got a certain challenge which is going on right now. We are staying at Nairobi Gym Tour, whereby on Thursday we were in Alpha Fit, and from Monday we have got another program, having a tour in all the gyms in Nairobi as we try to motivate people to come for the Nairobi qualifiers.
Yes.
So finally for you, James Mbuga, as we wind up about Kenya's Strongest Man, what are the activities that you take people through in this challenge?
Kenya's Strongest Man is it's a series of activities. So we have the deadlift, we have the squats, how heavy can you squat. The deadlift and the squat definitely are the principal events in Kenya's Strongest Man, as well as in Strongman. Chris Okechia holds the national deadlift record at 340 kilograms, which sits very well in the continent. It's one of the heaviest. Joseph Iro holds the squat record at 270 kilograms. And then we have the giant tire flip, we have the track pull, we have the shoulder presses. We have things like the farmer's walk, where you hold 100 kgs on each arm and go sprint to and fro. We have the spear hold, what you call the spear hold. It's all about endurance. So the activities are meant to test speed, some of them raw strength, and some of them agility and endurance. So yeah, those are the several of the activities we have.
Well, thanks a lot for coming in and telling us more about Kenya's Strongest Man. James Mbuga, who is the founder for Kenya's Strongest Man. Chris Okech, who's 3 times Qatari's Strongest Man, and also last year he finished second in Kenya's Strongest Man. And Steve Wamalwa, 2 times Kenya's Strongest Man. They are here in studio and they've been talking to us about what to expect in the 2018 edition of Kenya's Strongest Man. Remember, the national finals will be held in August, where we will have 4 times World's Strongest Man, that is Ziduna from Lithuania, coming to Kenya to perform some of his heroics to the lovers of the sport. That is the Strongest Man Challenge. And as Chris has said, that he's looking forward to taking part in this year's edition, looking forward to winning it. And also Steve Wamalwa challenging Chris and James and Joseph Irogu, who is the defending champion, that he is coming back to take his crown. We'd like to take a short break right now, but when we come back, it's all about the 2018 edition of the World Cup. We have Nyambura Mureithi, who is a football analyst. We'll be talking to her about the results from yesterday. Remember, no African team has won in the World Cup so far. We'll also be talking about the use of the VAR, and we'll be having the top trends and the top 5 moments of the week, but that will be after the break.
Scoreline, in association with 1xBet.